When it's just too darn cold, this woodworking barn in Cambridge, New York is a warm refuge for a man with a hobby.
This is my Decoy barn. It's what we call the granary, one of my outbuildings here. And as you can see, it's almost entirely consumed with duck decoys.
Steve Sanford hunts all kinds of ducks during the hunting season, but it's in the off-season that his passion is displayed in the form of beautiful decoys which he hand carves from raw lumber. In nearly 30 years of carving, Steve has tried his hand at almost every species of duck, from the colorful Drake widgeon to an entire rig of Canada geese. Some of his fancier decoys serve merely as mantelpiece accents. Most are actual gunning decoys, which Steve uses for hunting. No matter what their ultimate purpose, all of them are stunning.
One of the things I found when you hunt ducks is that what you do more than anything else is you sit there and you look at your decoys. So you could look at ugly decoys, or you could look at decoys that give you some satisfaction. So that's what I've done.
To better appreciate this workmanship, consider the starting point. In the course of one afternoon, Steve will transform a crude piece of white pine into a beautiful Drake pintail duck. One of the most difficult and time-consuming pieces to carve is the head.
The first ones, when you're learning, take hours and hours because you're always afraid to take off too much, and you don't really know. And if you are cursed with an artistic sensibility, you know, the wrong 64th of an inch can drive you crazy. So, but that's, you know, one of the reasons you do it too. Mostly now I'm just checking for symmetry to see if I'm on the right track here. Big fat cheek bird.
As with most artistic endeavors, decoy carving demands 100% concentration and skill. Still, during the carving process, there's time to ponder the philosophies of hunting, art, and life.
Like anything where you're working with your hands, I found a lot of people who, like myself, work by and large in an office environment where the fruits of your labor are not always easy to identify at the end of the day. When you see something actually coming to shape in your hands, I think it meets a need that a lot of people have to know that the investment they've made in something is paying off. One of the reasons why I go to all the trouble to make my own decoys rather than just buying them from a factory somewhere is twofold. One is that it gives you an opportunity to be creative with your hands and with your mind and produce essentially a work of art. I think everybody likes to do that to a certain extent. And then the other is that I think a lot of the hunting psychology it stems from self-reliance. And the more that you can have a hand in everything that goes on in the hunt, whether it's picking the spot you hunt, or using a duck call, or building a boat, or making your own decoys, it all just enhances the whole experience. Pintail doesn't really have a pure white tail, but I'm going to start out making it white.
When the paint goes on, Steve finds out if his endeavor has been successful. He has carved many birds in the past thinking he was on the right track, only to see the whole decoy fall flat when the paint goes on.
The final bit here is just to put the little pale blue racing straights down the bill that really make it look like a pintail.
This bird doesn't appear to be a flop at all. Of course, the acid test comes when Steve eventually uses this pintail to hunt in the field.
When you're out there handling the decoys, looking at them, you realize it's something you made and you enjoy that. But another part is the fact that there's a lot of fellowship among duck hunters and people share information and you teach each other things, and being able to show other people how to make decoys has given me a lot of pleasure and forged a lot of friendships over time. So it's in lots of different ways it really enhances the sport for me. So it's just something I imagine I'll always do as long as I can lift a knife up. So just going to keep at it.